Hello, fellow parents and educators. Thank you for joining me at Education Evolution, where we are disrupting the status quo in today's learning models. We talk about present-day education, what's broken, who's fixing it, and how. I'm Dr. Maureen O'Shaughnessy, your host and founder of Education Evolution and the Microschool Coalition, where we are fiercely committed to changing the narrative, to reimagining the education landscape and creating learning that serves all children and prepares them to thrive. Hello, listeners. Today I'm chatting with LEADPrep students and parents as we look at being responsive to student and family needs during a summer of social distancing. I'm excited for you to see how our older students can be a part of the solution to this unprecedented stay-at-home summer. Why is this important? We've watched how various educational institutions have responded to learning needs during the first months of the pandemic. At this time of rethinking institutions and demanding equality, we need to apply these same expectations to our schools. Effective learning communities must be responsive and nimble to address emerging needs. Students must come first. No excuses. We hope our simple program might spark ideas to help other schools shift and address student and family needs. So here's the problem. Kids need summer engagement and to not suffer the summer loss of learning, and for the engagement to happen in the midst of a summer where very few activities are happening because of social distancing. So we need to look at why this is important. The Northwest Evaluation Association, NWEA, does research, and they have talked about summer learning loss. And in looking in math and reading specifically, they see that students lose from 20 to 50% of their learning over the summer. So we not only need our kids to be engaged, we also don't want this summer learning loss to happen. So what's the solution? Anytime we have to make something new happen, we need to look at our existing resources and get creative. For us, part of our resources are our high school juniors and seniors. So these juniors and seniors in their honors leadership class last spring created a spring break program to engage our students. And then we've called on 3 of them who have taken college level dual enrollment classes in math, English, and communications to run summer classes and tutoring in those subjects. And then a 4th student of ours is running a summer social. So let's listen to Eli's experience of teaching and tutoring math. So I have our student Eli with me here, and he's taken some college level math. And this summer he is teaching math classes and also doing math tutoring with some of our students. And as you know, students lose up to 2 months of math learning over the summers. So this is really important that kids have a chance to stay current on their math and maybe even get ahead. So Eli, tell me, how has it been tutoring individual kids in math?
It's been going pretty well. The kids are at different points in math, and I'm basically just working through it with them. I try to make the tutoring personalized. There's a lot of work. Like with one of them, I'm working through a workbook, and there's a lot of work that is repetitive, so I'm trying to make sure that what they're doing is, helpful, and so that, they're actually learning, and I can see they're learning rather than just doing repetitive tasks. So, yeah.
That makes really good sense. And I've also heard from some of the parents that they're really appreciating that your pace and your attention is making math a little less painful for some students. Are you seeing any of that shift?
I think so. I know just math as like arithmetic or as just problems can be, pretty boring. Even, I like math and I get that. So I'm trying not to just make it, do this thing so I can see that you can do it. It's more like show me that you actually learned and that you can understand what you're doing.
Perfect. Yes, it's not just going through the motions. You want to make sure they understand it in the context. Well, Eli, thank you for giving your summer to help our kids stay up on their math or even get ahead. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
The beauty of small groups is just as Eli mentioned. Kids get to go at their own pace, making sure that they are learning and not just doing repetitive tasks. Eli, as a student, really appreciates how good it feels to not just be going through the motions. We also get to use assessments as tools, and he was using them to determine learning and not just how they're usually used to determine final grades. And here's what one mom of a gifted middle school math student says about the summer opportunity. So, Stephanie, your family's been juggling work from home and school for both an elementary and a middle school student.
Yep, and a husband who's working from home.
Oh my gosh. As your son Finn forges ahead in math, gifted middle schooler that he is, he's completed more than a course this year. So how does the summer school program keep his passion and progress going?
Well, he was really excited to get to start geometry, first of all. So he took to it right away, and having Eli help guide him through it was really useful, helping keep him on track. It's really hard to keep his brain engaged constantly to the level which he needs. So we were really grateful to have the opportunity. He loves math, clearly, and is kind of competitive about it. So allowing him to continue with that spirit while he was on a roll and continue the momentum was really important for us.
I love that. And I like that we're small enough that we can adjust to our turbo kids as well as any kids that have a gap. I have a second question for you. So if you had a magic wand, what would you want all students to get to experience in their schools?
Well, I think the biggest thing as a fellow educator that I can say is I really wish that we were able to individualize education like you guys do at LEADPrep. And I know that we're super lucky that we've been able to afford an experience like this for our son because he doesn't fit under the normal curve. And as a former teacher, I can tell you not very many kids actually fit under that normal curve. So if I had a magic wand, I'd start micro schools everywhere with all kinds of different focuses so that students could pick where they wanted to go based on their interests. And it would be student-centered, and it would be inquiry-based, and it would be student-led, and the students would take turns teaching each other, and they would be in mixed ages, so everyone had a chance to step up and be the teacher, but also everyone would have the chance to be the student. And they would get to do the things that they were interested in learning about, which buy-in is huge for kids, especially when they hit that middle school, high school age.
Absolutely.
And so if I had a magic wand, I would make a micro school a possibility for every student in the world.
Love it. Well, thank you very much, Stephanie.
You're very welcome. Hope you guys have a great rest of the summer.
Thanks. Absolutely. We want to keep momentum going for learning. We definitely want to keep the spark alive. And I love Stephanie's magic wand, more personalized learning for all students. They are not widgets all at the same place on the same day. So with more student-led learning, mixed ages, letting kids do what they're interested in, we'll really get that buy-in and be able to personalize. Making a middle school a possibility for every student in the world, well, we definitely want to have an effective model for every student in the world, and it's going to look different for a lot of them. A big piece of addressing a variety of needs is valuing multi-age learning. It is such a win-win. Multi-age means older students get to practice leadership, gain job skills, and younger kids get mentoring and have role models. There are so many benefits to multi-age classes. Unfortunately, that trend decreased when No Child Left Behind and testing mandated at this grade level, kids have to be prepared for this test, and our culture shifted to teaching to tests. We lost this wonderful benefit, and far fewer schools, especially public schools, are using the multi-age model now. But when they do, older kids get to work with younger kids, just like at home, and you see more sharing, more turn taking, more caring. The School Superintendents Association, ASA, has a whole article that's in my show notes on the benefits. And there are 6 specific benefits I want to talk about. First, multi-age is child-centered. The emphasis is on the child, not on the curriculum, not on the textbook or the reading series. Second, it shifts the teacher focus from this is what I teach to these are the children I teach. Such an important shift. Third, when we do away with the grade level designation, then our teachers get to shift from this script and begin to look at the individual needs of a child instead of this is the 4th grade script or the 9th grade English script. Fourth, we constantly monitor student growth and we design activities to move students through the curriculum at their own rate when we have the flexibility and we have multi-age going on. Fifth, we get to use cooperative learning, flexible grouping, thematic units of study, interdisciplinary learning, all of these rich things that have student buy-in increased and align with student passions. And finally, students are encouraged to be independent. They get to make their own decisions, and they also get to share with others what they're learning. So multi-age is such a great solution. And if you can find it or create it, you want this for your kids. It's wonderful. It's real world. Now let's listen to another parent on how this student-led experience is benefiting one of our seniors, Max. I'm here with Phyllis, and she is Max's mom, and Max has been a student at our school for 5 years, and you may remember his interview in episode 6. Phyllis, your family is about service. Max is about service. I know he was on our Nicaragua trip helping build a school. I know he's been to countless of the cooking and serving sessions that we've had at the homeless shelter for teens. He's just always willing to dive in. And the latest is that he helped with the spring break activities for kids, and he's running a class this summer for younger students. As he's taken on this extra step of responsibility, are you seeing any changes in Max?
Oh, absolutely. With him having this responsibility, which, by the way, he loves and is enjoying tremendously, I've seen his self-esteem grow. You know, he's had some issues with self-esteem in the past, and he seems more confident. He's very excited about this class every day. It's something he looks forward to. And after the class, he's always coming to me and telling me stories about the kids and the things that, you know, they did and problem solving things that have come up and how he's handled them. And I can tell he's really proud of himself. He's really, he's growing, I think, as an individual with this opportunity.
I love that. And every now and then he'll text me when a certain situation comes up and brainstorm. And he is so compassionate with the younger students. And I know one of our incoming new 7th graders hasn't even met Max and already feels like he has a friend. So Max, even remotely, is showing himself to be such a caring person.
Yay. That's my boy.
Yes. So Phyllis, if you had a magic wand in terms of kids giving back, what would you want all high school students to experience before they graduate?
Well, that's a good question. You know, I think that one of the ways that LEADPrep excels in getting our kids ready for the future and getting our kids ready for the outside world, the real world, is the philanthropy. You know, when they go and they work, like we used to do the kitchen at the Horizon Teen Feed, when we used to do that, and they go every fall to that woman's shelter where they, you know, sort baby clothes, and then they pack lunches. I really think that this is an avenue that's missed in traditional schools, because the traditional schools are all about the learning. And yes, they have lots of other programs going on, but there's rarely anything that touches on philanthropy, on giving back to the community. And I don't see how we'll be able to sustain our community unless we learn the empathy to help other people. And I think that that's something that has really helped Max. I really think it shaped him. He's always been a good and kind, caring kid, but these opportunities, going out and seeing those kids that we fed meals to who weren't that much older than him, and helping with the mother shelter. I cannot remember what it's called. I think those kinds of things have made him see beyond his, let's be real about it. He's got a somewhat privileged lifestyle. And I think it's helped him see beyond that and see that, there's ways that he can give back. Even if it's not financial, he can give back with his time and his energy and his support. And that's really important. I mean, we need to be well-rounded adults. And I think that's a key way of creating that adult.
That makes really good sense, that we want our kids to learn empathy and see beyond the privilege that so many of us have and into how we can give back to others. Phyllis, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure.
I agree with Phyllis. Multi-age projects like this really do allow our older students to grow and shine. Yes. And Phyllis's magic wand of providing regular experiences of philanthropy to our youth is so powerful. Acknowledging our privilege and responding with generosity, empathy, love, and kindness sounds like a great way to counter the uprising of hate crimes by fostering young people, helping them feel valued, and then in turn, value others. The final component of our student-led programs is our Thursday socials. Frankie, who we interviewed in episode 6, has donated his time and created free Thursday socials. He runs the main event while our other 3 teachers, students, seniors, Max, Brooks, and Eli, host breakout rooms for our kids who want to chat or game. So these socials help us welcome our new students and let them meet their classmates before the fall. They also keep our sense of community strong and provide a fun gathering that kids look forward to. One of our students, Ella, says, I really enjoy catching up with my friends in the summertime. During the socials, we chat and try new and delicious recipes. So let's hear from Frankie. Frankie, you are one of our students that took on the Honors Leadership Project of creating spring break workshops for our students. And now you're carrying on and doing summer socials so that our kids have free activities to stay engaged during the pandemic. Give us an overview of the spring break workshops that you designed.
The spring break workshops, those were really fun. Really, our goal was we wanted to help the kids, but we also really wanted to help the parents, and just it was like, okay, what can we do to keep them occupied? And then as we started working, we found a way to unlock all these students they had these interests and these talents and things they were really passionate about and really good at, that we were like, oh, we can make a really cool mini curriculum and teach kids so much cool stuff. So I was in charge of a group. We learned about animals. So one of our students, Kimberly, who loves dogs, she taught all about her favorite kinds of dogs, what they did. And then Alex, he works for the Humane Society. He's a volunteer. He taught us about more the care aspect of cats and dogs and small rodents. And then Taj, one of our Seattle kids, he taught us about the menagerie of animals he has in his house. So we learned about corn snakes and rats and little terriers. And it was just a really fun way to connect with everyone, but also learn a lot of stuff I didn't know about my classmates.
I love it. And I love you had strands for pets. You had strands for all different kinds of themes during the spring break week. And parents raved it so much that you have created our Thursday summer socials. Tell us a little bit about that.
So, the Thursday summer socials are really something I'm proud of. I look forward to it every week. What I try to do is the kids who are with me, I try to teach them a little skill that'll keep them occupied and give them something to do. So lately I've been doing a lot of cooking. Last week we made mug cakes I altered this recipe I found to make it completely customizable for different flavors and dietary restrictions. And then we've been watching a TV show called Avatar: The Last Airbender, which it recently got added to Netflix. And I think it's a very fun TV show because for a lot of kids, like for me, when I was watching it when I was tween, I suppose that's the age range, it was a really cool exposure to like indigenous and Asian cultures in this kind of fantasy way. So we've been watching that and doing little hands-on projects that hopefully the kids will like so much that they can do it whenever and not need a lot of help from their parents.
Love it. One other feature, I know in our summers, we usually try to have get-togethers and a pool party and a picnic so that new students have a chance to really feel like they know the other students and day one is easy and not unknown. You have some new students that are starting in the fall that are attending the Thursday socials. Do you think that this is kind of doing what our pool parties and things in the past had done?
I really think it is. One of the moments that stood out to me is during the Thursday socials, I run a small group and Max runs another group, and he works with kids on playing like communication games, video games that require them to be together. And I remember, I think it was our second social, and one thing that's kind of hard for us is trying to figure out who's the host and moving breakout rooms. And I remember I put the TV show on and I'm just sitting there and I get a call from him and he says, "Hey, will you put these 4 in a breakout room?" And I remember being amazed because it was 3 returning students and then a new student, Alex. And so in the second ever class, a new student was comfortable enough and wanted to play a game with the other kids in this breakout room. And I remember thinking, that didn't take very long, and I'm glad he's having a great time.
I love it. And I love that you, older students, are so supportive of us forging community and keeping our kids engaged. Thank you very much, Frankie.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
What a dynamo. Frankie weaves in his love of cooking. Learning and serving when aligned with passions is so much more rewarding. And then picking a show that appreciates cultural differences? Great idea, Frankie. It is fantastic working in a progressive school community. Progressive means always finding new ways to more deeply embody our mission. And community means teachers and parents supporting creative ways to engage all of our students. It's my joy when I consult with schools or serve on their accreditation team to help them create plans for continuous improvement. All businesses, schools included, need to strive to constantly evolve to stay relevant. This Education Evolution podcast is all about challenging our schools to engage in continuous improvement. And 3 questions on this that we should regularly ask ourselves. Are we evolving with given resources to meet changing needs? Empowering students, and creating learner-driven progressive opportunities for our students. So parents, teachers, and school leaders, let's ask ourselves these. And also ask ourselves, what can we each do this year to be a part of the needed education evolution? Thank you for joining me today. I know how challenging it is to make changes inside your own school or community. I've spent years working with schools around the world on creating learner-centered programs And it always struck me how much schools were able to get done with the right tools and guidance. If you're ready to make changes like this in your own school, let's talk and put together an action plan. Visit educationevolution.org/consult for a free 15-minute call, and let's see if we're a good fit for more work together. Education Evolution listeners, you are the ones to ensure we create classrooms where each student is seen, heard, valued, and thriving. We need you. Let's go out and reach every student today. I'd be so grateful if you'd head over to your podcast app and give a great rating and review if you found this interview valuable. Thank you for listening. Signing off, I am Maureen O'Shaughnessy, your partner in boldly reimagining education.